Welcome to the Women, Business, and Technology panel at State of the Woman Address. I have with me Stacy Blakley and Kimberly Dove, who are going to tell you a little bit about themselves and why we're here. Stacy?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Blakley. I'm the owner of Dove Consulting Group. We are a civil engineering firm providing quality civil engineering solutions. Our background, we focus on primarily commercial and private developments. We also specialize in stormwater management and S4 reports, DOT permitting, as well as erosion control design. We are located in the amazing Atlanta, Georgia. This is where we're headquartered. We've been in operation since 2016. We serve various municipal and private clients, and we are honored to be here today.
Kimberly?
Hello, I'm Kimberly Dove, and I work in IT software development, and my team and I help create $1 billion worth of software for our industry. We service food service, grocery, retail, and tire. And now in the world of COVID, it allows us to use agility, right, and be lean. So our company is being able to do that and support our company's major core business.
All right, and I am Dr. Richardson. I'm a marketing and business technology strategist for a very small business, and I help small businesses do things like this and advertise themselves in competition with much larger organizations. So I envision this panel as a comfortable conversation between women in tech in different fields who are advancing and doing really, really well. Ladies, thank you. And so my background starts when my parents, well, my dad, bought a computer, and I say that I've been programming since I was 8 years old, but I've been hello world since I was 8 years old. But even that little bit, gives us a little bit more edge. And when I finally grew up and got out of college and realized what I do connects developers and engineers with the regular people who use the things that they build, that's how I came to start my business and do what we do. So what's it like being the geek in your family?
I wear the title proudly. It is what it is. So for me, it's sometimes you don't really realize the magnitude of it because you'll have like relatives who are like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. It's amazing what you do. Explain to me what you do." And like to you, it's just everyday thing. It's like, "Oh, it's no big deal." And
just build the world.
Right. That's all. It's just to build the world. That's it. And then two, there's the other part where it's like, "Can you show me how to fix something on my computer?" And I'm like, "I really can't." If I don't have the software, I can't plug in the numbers. If I don't have the calculator, I can't do the calculations. Sorry, I can't help you.
But you can't build me, a whole website just because you're an engineer?
Exactly. You're supposed to know all these facets of anything.
You do technology.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I'm so not quite. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it is in my family.
All right. How about you, Kim?
Oh man, my family is a little different. So my family started out, I was the only person in tech, but I encouraged others in my family to join. So my brothers are in software development. They do networking and cabling and Comcast and things of that nature. So my family, I don't have to be the only geek in the family. I just say, you need to go talk to your son or your nephew, or now, because I've been in IT so long, I love it because I have the ability to expand. So I started off with databases, and then I moved into network engineering. So I was pulling cables and connecting large enterprise servers, and I got bored with that. So then that's when I went into software development. And now my children have grown up in it. So now they are techies. They know what it's like we started off with the conference calls, right? So we started conference calls a long time ago. So in my family, being a techie, I'm not the only one. So I have encouraged them and expanded our whole family to do something different.
That is amazing. Okay, so I just had a thought and I lost it. So there's a lot of that going around. So here now, we are women in tech, and so we have issues that come up just because of who we are. Not only are we women in tech, we are Black women in tech. What's it like on the work side, walking that line and being that person, or that one, if there's only one of us, because it's often only one of us?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So I have to go back. Yeah. Initially you are one, and I started out in network engineering, and it was just odd because people thought that I was not there for technology. I would go to the Microtech Ed conferences, and I would sit into the CIO meetings, and I couldn't understand why everyone remembered my name. But then I realized at that time what it looked like for network engineers, women dressed like men, pretty much, very bulky looking, and they didn't wear makeup, or they presented themselves in a little different male type environment, and I did not. I was like, I'm wearing my skirt, it's gonna be a business suit, and I'm just gonna show up and be the best person I can be. So that's what it is like then. And today, there's so many more of us there. I feel comfortable, even if I'm the only one in my division. I still feel supported because I have beautiful women like you that I can share this with. So I don't feel isolated anymore. I used to feel isolated. I do not feel isolated.
That is awesome. And I wish more of us felt like we had a place to be and not kind of like the fly in the milk, which happens a lot still in WordPress conferences where I go. Stacy?
Sure. So for me, I've had the experience, I would say, of being the Black female in a predominantly Caucasian male field. And so a lot of my I'm the Black female. There are, and I really don't know if you see why they say this, but they peg to be their golden children, and they typically are not Black. They typically are not female. They're typically actually no minorities. And so from that, I even had friends who graduated from Georgia Tech, and because of that, they left. Like they literally could not deal, and so they went into a different field. I mean, they are doing amazingly well, but for that reason alone, they were like, why would I do that to myself? And so for me, it was growing. It was understanding the world is what it is, and continuing to move forward anyway. And so I also share with people that's the reason that I started my company, so that there would be a safe space for women, for minorities to come. I mean, it's a safe space for anyone, but when you come into the environment and you know that you're welcome and that you can be your whole self and not someone else, that that allows you the space to be creative, the space to grow, the space to truly be you. And I think that's where people thrive, and they feel comfortable like that, and they feel like they can be themselves. And so that's been my experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? Well, my background is a little different because I came from higher ed. So I came from a place where I could express myself. You were expected to have blonde dreads, which I had at the time. Still blonde, no dreads. And so once upon a time, I was going to be someone's dean of students at college. And it just was through my work with faculty that I ended up as a web developer and then later on a strategist. So it kind of, my experience, because, of course, there are more of us of color in education, it wasn't quite as hard or as isolating, but I did my graduate study in Mississippi, and I am from the Bronx. So
that's an adjustment.
Yes, there's definitely an adjustment there. And what I learned coming from education into tech is that my counseling background, I spent a lot of time doing that. So my dissertation research ended up being how people with anxiety deal with online courses. So that helps me with the Main Street owners, mom and pop businesses who are maybe a little tech resistant to understand what they're going through and have a path to explaining what they need. So I really don't have so much of an isolated experience until I went to speaking on tech in places like WordCamp or what have you, which, you know, web development is kind of it's a business that thrives on people who happen to like isolation. I'm a hermit, so I love it. But when we come out, we find that, you know, a lot of us are just not quite there. Now, of course, now there are lots and lots of developers of color everywhere and speaking throughout the country and the world on WordPress, which is my personal expertise. But I wanted to kind of pull in the folks who don't have a lot of tech background. And that's how we end up with businesses that aren't sustainable. So hopefully with us in high-end tech and engineering and everyday tech, we can kind of bridge those gaps and bring people back together, help the smaller businesses stay sustainable, stay together, stay there, and we can all like kind of grow together. And that's my big hope, great big hope for not just us, but for those of you out there watching us talk about tech. So any other anecdotes you want to share?
Just be true to yourselves. If you have a network of women that support you, that's amazing. If not, give us a call. Because the thing is that, you know, we've known each other for a year, maybe less than a year. But I feel like if I ever needed either of these ladies, I could reach out to them. So absolutely. So find yourself that network, find yourself that support, because that is critical as women in today's environment.
Absolutely.
And I would just like to say that not only just be true to yourself, know that technology is not scary. Technology is in the windmills. Technology is in your car. Technology are in the microphones that you use. I know a lot of you are doing a lot of selfies and YouTube. I see you at the store shopping. Expand that. Teach that to your children. Experiment and make sure that they all know that. Everyone in your family. I help them find a new way of doing it. And don't tell them how to do it. Show them how to do it. Teach them to fish.
Okay, and then I'll wrap up with go beyond the devices. And this is a message for the grandparents out there who are expecting all of your children to go to college. I have all the alphabet after my name, so I want you to listen really clear at that. There are other ways to get into tech than going in to get a degree. Mm-hmm. You do not have to spend your entire life or your retirement money on your grandkids' education. There are other ways. And there are ways that don't require anything after high school other than admission at YouTube University and some determination. And there are, again, lots and lots of businesses and jobs in tech. So keep an open mind, be ready for the next wave of things to come. And this has been Women, Business, and Tech.